Good morning, everybody. Nick from Eat Smoke Fire here. Welcome back. Hopefully you'll be able to hear us all right. It's a bit breezy today, but we have put the windsock on the phone. So do let us know if the audio's a bit bad. Not a lot we can do about it while we're live, but anyway, thought I'd say. So yeah, welcome. So today, promised you the Kellybab. A kebab, and I'll tell you all about it a bit later, but from a lady called Kelly Bramall who lives in Scotland. She put the recipe out a long while ago and people love it. So I've never cooked it, so I thought I'd cook it today. So first, it's not my recipe. I'm going to show you how we cooked it. We'll cook it and we'll do some sides to go with it. So we're going to do some flatbreads, and I know we did those last week and we've done them before, but we'll go through those again because they're always good. And we've had the chocolate brownie requested several. Oh, look at that, it's just started raining. Dry all morning, turn the camera on, starts raining. It's not supposed to rain either. It's supposed to be windy, but anyway, a tiny bit of rain, only tiny. So yeah, chocolate brownie. We're going to do a smoked chocolate brownie. We do it in our classes. Everybody likes it. The smoke is really subtle, so we normally do it side by side with a normal chocolate brownie so you can taste it. But I guess over the camera it doesn't really make any difference. You won't know. So, but we'll tell you how good it is. Yeah. So Helena's just pointed out. Already butted in. Well, let's do the intro. So, back by popular demand.
I don't know about that. Morning, everyone.
We got Andrea back on camera.
About a practice.
Yeah, so she'll be back on camera, and we've got Helena on the keyboard doing that. And what she was trying to remind me is, look at that bad boy. Last week's Christmas cake. We brought it out just to show you. I think I'll get her to run it inside because it is starting to blob with rain a little bit. But yeah, just thought you'd show you that. Right, we're back. So we're going to do things backwards again. So I'm going to start with the dessert. So if we go this one, Andy. I have this egg, it's reading a bit low at the moment, but set up around 160. I think the thermometer's a bit low. I've actually got it on the Egg Genius. I tend to do that with cakes because it gets it quite accurate. And in here, and that'll probably do me, I've just been melting some butter. So using the pan, Tefal Ingenio pan, just stuck it in the egg to melt down that butter. I'll just swizzle it around, that'll be fine. And we're going to put that in to make our brownie. So I'll take a few things over here and then we'll make that. I can't believe it's raining. Is Mark on?
Haven't seen him as yet.
Yeah. It's your fault, Mark.
Oh, is it Mark from Smoke Fine Food? He's just joined.
Oh, well, thanks, Mark. Thanks for joining. The rain has just started. We're blaming this on you, as ever. Apparently it never rains up in Newcastle. So anyway, as I was saying, we have lots of butter. This is going to be a lovely dessert. We have cocoa powder, some flour, some sugar, a bit of bicarbonate in there. So those are all our dry ingredients. And all I'm going to do is add this butter into that. Okay.
Sorry, just catching top, doing a makeshift, keeping everything dry.
Keep the iPad dry. So we're going to mix that in together. So get that in, and then once that's cooled a tiny bit, which it has now, I'm going to put in the eggs. So we have, I think, 4 eggs and some vanilla. So that can go in. And we get that all stirred together. Now, if you come to a class, I don't do this. Helena is the queen of desserts, so she does all of those. But you can see it's all coming together nicely now. What is it with Saturdays and rain? And then into that, I'm going to put some chocolate chips. I've got some dark and some milk. I'll just take the two tops off. So 200 grams of chocolate chips. Pop those in. Put those out the way. And this week only, some raspberries. We don't normally put those in, so we're going to go with some raspberries. Stir that through. Bash the raspberries up, and then we have this is a If you want to get rid of those, Helena, you
Yeah.
could. Things are blown around as well. Hang on, one of those. There you go. This is just a standard Tesco's cheap as chips baking tin. Just going to line it because it helps get the batter out at the end. It's a 20 by 30 tin by 5 centimetres deep, and we find that works perfectly. So if you just get the batter in there. Yeah, ask questions this morning. Helena is there to take them and to give you all banter back, I guess. Any hangovers this morning?
Good question, don't know yet.
Haven't seen who's on. Any shout
So
outs?
you're Chubby?
Oh, morning Chubby, my brother. How's
Rachel?
lockdown? Oh, they're in. Of course, lots of you might be back in funny lockdowns now. So I guess my brother is in London. He's also been in isolation until last weekend because he was with somebody who tested positive. So there's our brownie, and we're going to smoke it. So we'll bring it over here. So I'm going to use some cherry smoking chips. These are from the same company that I buy all my smoking wood from down in Hertfordshire. I buy it all through Amazon, so I'll link this. Pecan or cherry, one of the sweet woods is good for this sort of thing. So we're going to pop this open. My egg is set to about 160 degrees. I'm just going to unclip this with my asbestos fingers. And because I'm using the expander system, it makes it so much easier just to lift everything out. But I've got it set up indirectly with a baking stone. And to that, I'm going to take a handful of chips. Now I don't soak them. I think we've discussed that before. I don't see the point. And I'm putting most of those into the middle. So if you look in there, Andy, you'll see most of those chips have gone into the middle. We're going to put all of this back. So we've got a plate setter or convector, feet up. We've got a baking stone on top to protect it. You can already see the smoke. I'm going to put my thermometer back on, and then we're going to pop that on the top, and that will take on some of that smoke. And we're going to shut the lid, and that should take about 30 minutes, something like that. So we'll leave that. We'll keep popping back to it. The Egg Genius is set to 160 degrees, so that's just blowing the perfect amount of air in. It knows the lid's been open, so it won't come on yet, but in a few minutes it will come on and it will start blowing, and it will bring that back to 160 degrees, and you should be fine. Now, while I think of it, the cake recipe had 180 at the top and 160 in the text. It is 160, so I've changed it. So if anyone made the cake and followed the top one, I'm sorry, but my proofreader didn't spot it, but that's Helena. I can't write for toffee, so she does all of that. Anyway, right, now we're going to talk about the kebab. So let's get a couple of these things out of the way. I'm just going to dry my board a little. This kebab made by this lady, or recipe from a lady called Kellybab. She's not really on social media much anymore, which is a shame. She used to work with Angus and Oink and was a really good barbecuer. Built an amazing house from an old barn in Scotland. Lovely lady, I've spoken to her a couple of times. This is her recipe, and it just has this incredible following. It's basically a lot of chicken thighs put together. So I thought, why not take that opportunity once again to show you how to portion a chicken. It's a while since we've done this, and it's always a good skill. And show you how I cut the chicken up, then take the thighs off, and then I'll show you how to debone and skin them. So very easy. So we're going to take this chicken. I'll get a plate ready for the bits. So flip it over so it's upside down, and get your hands under the legs, and if you put your fingers on, you'll be able to feel the joints, and if you just pull it up, it will de-joint them. It just makes it easier then to chop it up, if that makes sense. Okay, so then what we can do, right way up now, just run a knife down between the breast and the leg, same on the other side. Yeah, so that's just basically cut the skin there. We'll turn it over, and then and I can't remember, it probably was Chef Andy Knight who brought this up. I didn't do, there's two little bits of meat here called the oysters, and they're the best bit on the chicken. So when I did it last time, I didn't get them. So if you cut round them, you'll get them in, and then you should just be able to go down through the joint, and that's one leg off. Same on the other side, cut round them so you get the oysters, down through the joint, other leg off. So I'll pull that to one side. So now we've got the two legs. We don't want the drumstick for this, so if you look at the drumstick, it's sort of round. So that's where I'm aiming for to cut through. So we'll just go down, and you should go straight through the joint if you hit it right. So now we have our two, he's missed it. There we go. Our two drumsticks and our two thighs. We've still got some wings, so let's, same thing, de-joint them if you can. Just cut round them. So there's a chicken wing, really easy. And if you want to do wings on the barbie, best way, just take the ends off, the wing end off. A bit slippy with it being wet. Same on the other side, end of the wing, tips. And then you can again cut through that joint. So it's always good practice just to cut through and remind yourself where all those joints are. You'll find them there. Might take a couple of times. So the last bit we've got is just the carcass, and what we want to do is take the breasts off those. So there is the cartilage running down the middle. So if you feel it, you can put your knife to one side of it and run it like that. Same on the other side. Run it, and then use the carcass as a guide for the knife, and then the wishbone is at this end, just to guide the knife, and you just use the carcass like that. And if you've got a sharp knife, the breast will come off. I tend to turn it round for the other one because it just makes it easier for me. Found the wishbone. In fact, I broke it. You look at this one, and you can just see it's here. Look. So I'm going the other side of it now, so leave that on. And then just use the carcass to run the knife down. And that is a portioned chicken. So I don't want those bits, I don't want the wings, don't need the breasts, don't need the carcass. I will put that in the bin, one sec. So now I've got my two thighs. If we were going to do these the kebabs, basically just get your finger under the skin, anywhere, and pull. And those bits of skin just come off. You don't want all of this fatty stuff in the kebab. So I'm going to take those off. Now, don't throw them away. What I love to do with these is put them out flat, sprinkle them salt and roast them. And then you get this lovely chicken bacony crispy stuff. Right, I'll do one of these to show you just how to get the bones out. But there is only one bone in here. You can see it there running down here. So just come down the bone with the knife, either side. Keep your fingers out the way, and then cutting away from you, just cut to the end like that. And then I use the knife like that, pushing down. If I could go that way, you might be able to see it better. And you can just sort of scrape it down, and then just chop across, and then you've deboned it. And now that is a deboned chicken thigh ready for your kebab. So I'm going to put all of that on the plate. I'll finish that later. Let me just wipe this off. Now I say all that because we've already started. This kebab takes a little while to cook. So I'll get the majority of this off and then get my magic wipes on it. So anti-back wipes, because we're going to do some baking in a minute on there. Just wipe this down a little bit. I love these chopping boards, they're so smooth, it's so easy then to clean them. Do that. Right, I will wash my hands. In fact, I'll go and put this all in the bin. Oh, she's stolen my tea towel.
Trying to keep
Well,
Oh no, I haven't.
You ever turn the
Can you turn the tap on and then I'll wash my hands? I'll talk about other stuff in the meantime. forgotten to turn the sink on. Right, in here is our Kellybab. So, Andy, do you want to have a look? I've done this on a rotisserie today. So I've done it on the Let's Q. We've got it spinning.
Oh, it smells amazing.
It smells incredible. And that is 2 kilos of chicken thighs, skinned and deboned. So, you know, it's probably 1.5 kilos, something like that. I've got the meter in here, checking the temperature. And what I'm doing is trying to cook that to 74 degrees. So if you look on here, I don't know if you can see that, Andy. I've set it up as a chicken breast. It was currently at 170, it's just under 180. We're aiming for 74. We're at 64 degrees currently, and we've got 11 minutes remaining. That's worked out well. I had to put this on a bit earlier. It takes about an hour and a half. Right, now I can wash my hands. So are there any questions, Helen?
No, I've got suggestions for Halloween food.
Sorry?
I've got some suggestions for Halloween food.
Oh, suggestions for Halloween cooks? What were they?
Pumpkin curry.
Pumpkin curry, okay, yeah.
Pumpkin risotto.
Sorry?
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin risotto, yeah, we could do that. I like that. I like the curry as well.
Someone suggested a parking cake. So Karen Truelove is trying like a ginger cake, but
Okay.
given we're going to have
You might need to get closer because she's not speaking very loud.
given we've got a little helper next week, I think it might have to be chocolate based.
Yes.
So I'm thinking chocolate and ginger.
Lexi is back next week, our niece, to come and do the cook. So
Subject to.
it will have to have chocolate in it. Subject to us not being locked down. We're all right at the moment here. Anyway, right, let's talk about this kebab. It's on, I've got it on the Let's Q rotisserie. However, you could do it, and I'll tell you what's in the kebab as well. You could do it on one of these spikes. So this was one Mark from Smoked Fine Foods recommended to me. So you can pile your chicken up that way and put it on your egg, and it will go in there, and then you can just use it indirect and roast it, and it comes out beautifully. The beauty of this spike is, and I don't know if you can see that, is it unscrews halfway down. Then you can unscrew the bottom bit, take it off, and screw that bit on there, and it's shorter and it fits in the Minimax. So if any of you have only got a Minimax, this is the spike to get. Okay? So that's one way of, another way of cooking it. Or the alternative, and these are just a Big Green Egg product, the Firewire skewer, so a bendy skewer. You can just feed all your chicken through it and then probably tie it back on itself like that, just to hold it all in one place. So you'd have the chicken around there. Does that make sense? And that would hold it all, and then you can just put it indirect again on the grid, because you don't want to be turning it all the time. And you can roast it like that, and it will hold it all together. So that's a Firewire skewer. They come in pairs. They're from Big Green Egg, and they're great for vegetables as well. So they're brilliant. Okay, right. So we've got our chicken on. So the Kellybab recipe's up on the website, but essentially it is quite a lot of oil, but it's just a marinade. 4 cloves of garlic, some cumin, some coriander, some allspice, some tomato puree. That's the bit that makes it that's the reason it's, well, one, it's the reason it's a ready colour, and two, it's the reason it's catching, because the sugars in the tomato will caramelise and burn. So it's always, you know, when you're cooking with a barbecue sauce, always put it on at the end, because those sugars will burn really easily. So same thing with this, but that's what's making it go black. However, everybody says those are the best bits, so go with it. So yeah, garlic, tomato puree, those spices. It's a really simple recipe. There is no chili in it, so this is kid friendly. Absolutely no chili in it whatsoever, which is a bit weird in my book. So when we make the next bit, we'll pep it up a bit with chili, I guess. Okay, so that is our kebab. We're going to add to it, we're going to do some flatbreads and so on. So over here I have another egg chunking away, nice and warm, 200 degrees, which is pretty much what I want it. Exactly the same setup we did it last week. We had half direct and half indirect, and I just want to show you what happens to flatbreads when you do it one way or the other. So I've got the option of doing that, so that's exactly what we're doing. So let's get on and make a few flatbreads
In the rain.
in the rain. Any questions, Tom?
Someone asked Oh, Franco asked,
Morning, Franco.
where was the spike from that you were using? So I said it is from
So the
Let's Q.
So the rotisserie's Let's Q. On the end, I think we showed this last week, but on the end we've got the disc. So you unscrew the handle from the Let's Q, and I've got these discs. You put the disc on, and you'll see that in a minute. When we take this off, we can then sit it up vertically and cut down. So a bit like a kebab shop. So yeah, put the disc on first time I've used it, so give it a go. But this, I will find out from Mark, or I'll look in my records where that one was from. Mark might put it up in the thing on the feed because he's on. Otherwise, the Firewire's big green egg. Right. Let's get, so the dough. You've seen this before, but we'll talk about it again. It's my standard bread recipe. So 500 grams of flour, strong white plain flour. 7 grams of easy bake yeast, so Allinson's is the one I use. 10 grams of salt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and 300 millilitres of water, and you get this, or you get a dough. However, learnt from Susan Stoneman, who you should all follow. She's dipping in and out. You'll see her on. Maybe hopefully she's in, but she puts sugar in there. So we've got about 3 teaspoons of sugar in there, just to give it that sweeter touch to it, and it makes it rise as well. So this I did, what, 2 hours ago? Mm-hmm. Something like that, and it's all doubled in size. The dough, it was a ball that big, it's doubled in size. So we're just going to roll it out. We'll make a few. This is going to be a bit tough in the wind and the rain, but we'll give it a go. Yes, I'll get a cover for us one day. We're getting grief on that yet. Who was that the other week? Who was
someone else has said, oh hello, randomly. Someone else has said that today as well.
Need a cover? No. It's good fun, get out in the rain. The girls don't like it, I like it. So I'm taking a bit bigger than a golf ball size, something like that. Just fold it in on itself, into the middle. That makes sense. Just turn it and fold it, and that'll just make it smoother and rounder. And then you can just roll it out. Now this is just proved once. It's not it's wet through. I've not done approve and a knockback and approve. It's just proved once. You don't need to wait for that. So you know it can be ready in an hour and a half. And then all we're going to do with these is just roll them out into pita bread shapes. And they're about, I always say, a £1 coin thick. Does that make sense? Maybe a little bit thinner than a pound coin. Get those out. I'll do a couple, and then we'll go and we'll put them on side by side, just so you can see the 2 different ways of cooking them, different speeds, and the different results. Now, Susan, I know, tends to cook hers direct. Brilliant method. But if you want them to be a pocket, I think sometimes they work better if you cook them indirect. So put them on the I've got a half moon thing. You could turn your plate setter, your convector upside down, and just cook it on the back. So we'll get that out. So we'll try with these 2 and we'll see how we get on. I'll just roll that end a bit. They're a bit springy, so they'll come back on themselves a little bit. So we've got 2 of those. So just over 200 degrees, probably a good temperature. 220 is good for bread. So we'll open that. I'm going to pop 1 in on the plate setter and 1 in direct. And then we'll give them about 20 seconds. And what's going to happen is that one on the direct side is going to have started puffing up already. It's going to cook so much faster than the other one. But what tends to happen is it bubbles and it won't open up and become a pocket. So with that one, you might have to just put all your toppings on it. With the other, you could cut it open and put stuff in it. If that makes sense. It's just starting, sneaking a peek. Too slow, Andy, with the camera. So while we're doing this, Helena, any questions?
Did you set a timer?
No. Did you?
Coming up for
She's got her head in her hands.
It's
Would it be ready when it's ready? We'll go and have a look.
11:37. We shut the lid on it. It's 11:54 now.
Yeah, so it's going to take about 30 minutes. So it'll be just after 12. Right. Oh, this one's actually going to work. Look, it's going to open up and turn into a pitter pocket. Now the one on the left you can see is taking a little bit more time, but this one I'm going to flip it over because I can see it just starting to catch on that corner, whereas that one is going to be more controlled, but takes longer. So I had my brother doing these. He was doing them with my niece and nephew a couple of months ago to do with the lamb recipe that's on the site, and it was just taking forever. I said, just take the plate setter out and just do them direct, and he put them on, and that's the way he's done them ever since. So and I think he's on, isn't he? Yeah, it's all he said about it.
A couple of questions.
Yeah.
How long has it taken to collect all your barbecues?
How long has it taken me to collect all my barbecues? I've been doing this for I haven't been doing this. I had my first big green egg, that one there, 8 years ago. So, but before that I barbecued on gas. Don't knock it. My brother-in-law has a gas Weber, and he produced the best pulled pork I've had. I hate to say it, but on my gas Weber at his house. So I've been cooking on barbecues for years and years. So, but yeah, we have a bit of a collection here. I think we've got 9 at the moment. There's some more down there. 9 big green eggs, but we do run the cookery school obviously when we're not shut down.
Someone asked, will the Lexicon base fit rotisserie?
Oh, now there's a question. Will the Let's Q base fit a rotisserie? I will be able to answer that. I have a rotisserie. I have a skewer for it somewhere. Right, this one's coming off. Puffed up beautifully. After saying it wouldn't puff up. The other one we're going to flip, turn it over, and give it a little bit of cook on the other side. You can see it collapses a little bit as the steam comes out. We'll shut the lid. So you said a couple of questions. That was the couple of questions, okay? No, we've been doing this we've had the barbecues here 8 years. We've been running these things, I think this is our 27th, 28th live cook. We're doing them during lockdown because our clients couldn't come to the cookery school because we can't open it. There just isn't enough space here to do proper social distancing and run classes. I've seen a lot of the other outdoor cookery schools are running. I've chosen not to. I don't think we can do it safely and still have fun, and it's all about having fun. So we chose this year to shut. We'll see how next year goes. Might do a little bit more on that. Oh, put the kettle on, that reminds me. But I'm just putting the kettle on for some boiling water. I'm going to show you a couple of things about. No, we're good. So that's doing. We've got 2 minutes to go on our Kellybab. I'll leave that when I see it. Kettle's going nicely. Right, let's get this one out. Oh, lovely. If we get time, we'll make a couple more. So we'll pop these up here. Yeah, if you grab a bit of foil, it's behind them, and we could wrap those just to keep them out. I'll put the dough out the way for a second. Get flour out the way. I just want to keep the rain off them. Put them out with this flour in there. Put those down there for a minute. Get the worst of the flour out the way. The worst of it all over my trousers. Oh, I could put my apron on. Yeah, thank you. I'll put my apron on. Tell I'm not very good keeping clean. Really, I'm covered. Sorry. Should put my apron on. Happy vehicle. Right. So, to go with our pitta, to go with our kebab, I just thought I'd do a couple of bits of veg. Keep this really simple. So I have already made tzatziki. Yeah, wipe the board in a sec. I like red onions in my kebabs, but I don't like them being really spicy, if that makes sense. So I'm going to wipe down the onion and not the knife. So I'm going to just show you a little tip to get rid of the really spikiness from an onion. So I've seen this done two ways. You can cut the onion, and I've seen it done. We did a class with a guy called Martin Morales at Rick Stein's fish school, school, and he get her in, no, ducking down. You're in, Todd. You may as well stand up straight. He cuts the onions, so I'm just going to.
He needs that top.
I'm just going to sliver them up. Yeah, can I have that back? That's for this stage.
Sorry.
Usual story. She clears up around the house, and it clears up before I've used stuff. He puts the onions and puts them directly into iced water, and it works, but it takes a long time. Then I can't remember where I saw it the other day. They did exactly the same thing, but put it where they put the onions into boiling water. Hence, me boiling the kettle over there. There isn't normally a kettle out in the garden. So we're just going to take these, pour the boiling water over them, leave them for about 10 seconds. I'll get rid of the kettle. Give them a little stir. Just break them up a bit. And that 10 seconds is enough to take the worst of the oniony, the bitterness, and then we can just drain them. So, put them over my sink. And then just let them drain. So we'll have some onions in, ready to go in. I'm going to use some white cabbage. I love a bit of white cabbage in a kebab. So, right. So just chop finely. Always tuck your fingers under. So we'll put that on the plate. Cabbage was on. So that's ready to go in our kebabs. We'll have a few tomatoes. We'll just chop those up. Half those ready. And beeping away on the side, you probably can't hear it, is the Amazon Kindle, not Kindle, Fire tablet or whatever we call it. So those are drained now. I'll put those on there. They look pretty. What are you laughing at? Me tipping water onto the patio?
Yeah.
It's wet anyway. Right. Can't beat a few Turkish chilies. So let's get those up there to go in your kebabs. How are we doing for time? Good. Oh, I didn't make those. If you're not into Turkish, then these are just some rocket chilies. Perfect. And now, time to get that kebab. Right. So, look at that. As with anything chicken, even though I've got the meter in there, I'm gonna use my thermopen. So, usual thing. I'm going to turn the rotisserie off for just a second. He says, there we go, so we can get in. Oh, I've turned it back on the wrong way. 71, 72. Yeah, we're a couple of minutes away. If we take it out and I rest it, it will, that external temperature will heat the middle, just like you would a chicken. So that's exactly what we do. If you look, our thing is telling us, this is a meter, the thermometer in there, just telling us to remove it from the heat. The internal 73, so this was showing 72.9, so I'll take that. We're aiming for 74, and the egg is currently, well, the temperature's dropping because I've got it out. So we will take this out. And I am going to put a glove on just to help, but simple as that. And we can pop that up like that. Now, if you wanted, you could take these metal bits out, or you can just start cutting it like that. So Andy, what I'm going to do, because we've got a couple of minutes, I'm going to take this Let's Q off, whoops, just the rotisserie off, while we've got the barbecue going. We're going to put in just a normal grid. I'll put it on the expander. I'm going to pop in a cast iron pan and we'll get that warmed up. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to put the chicken skins on. So I kept them all, put a basket of them, a bag of them somewhere, kept all those chicken skins. So we're going to put all of those in. I'm going to spread them out, put a bit of salt on them, and we'll make them crispy. So we may as well do it while we've got the heat. So we'll get that warmed up. So I'll set that around 180. So the vents are slightly smaller when you are cooking with the Let's Q because the heat comes out a little bit, the air can come out the sides. So I've just opened it a little bit and that will warm it back up. Okay, so I should have wrapped that in foil, but that's all right. I think the outsides will be fine, so we can take some off and show it. The middle will carry on cooking, but if you're going to do this, wrap it in foil and that will just keep it nice and warm. Yeah, let's have a bit of foil for it, just for a couple of minutes while we get that sorted. So, Costco stuff, the Lakeland foil, you can't beat it. That will just keep it warm in there and let it rest for a couple of minutes and then we'll slice it off. Proper kebab shop style, but much healthier for you. So, should we have a look at our cake? That has been exactly 30 minutes. Is it?
Yeah.
We can have a little look.
I think we might be a bit early.
A bit early, yeah, well, that's fine. Oh yeah. Can you see though, this is the important bit. It starts to go at the edges and then the middle, if I wobble it.
Oh, yeah, I've got the...
Can you see that, Andy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Still a bit wobbly in the middle. That's how I tell when it's done. It's just a wobble test. You want the middle to wobble a bit, but the edges are definitely cooked. So I'm going to shut that back down. That probably needs another 5-10 minutes, that's all, so not too long. Right, let's find the chicken bits then and do those while we're waiting. So, got those, got my things. That needs to warm up a little bit. Just cut this with a knife. And then, what you love?
Someone's put one a bit wobbly in the middle.
Oh. Yeah, I think you and me both, I'm a bit wobbly in the middle too, so yeah, absolutely. So these, I just kept all the chicken wings from yesterday. This is not going to be quite warm enough yet, but it will help, well it might be, it will help me put them in. So, pop them in, either way up, it doesn't matter. I'll wash my hands after doing this. I flatten them out. In fact, I'm going to put them fat side down, that'll probably help them go. So you'll be able to tell how many chicken thighs I skinned yesterday. Probably about 15. Of course you can get your butcher to do them. It's a lot easier that way. But these were just supermarket thighs. Personally I can't tell that there's a lot of difference. That one's in a ring, so stretch it and open it. Some people might not like this. But these taste incredible. Let me just wash my hands. So Halloween, we've got curries. Spicy cake. Right, yeah, well that's you're on the cake. Not not big into cakes. Right, so then we're going to get some molten salt. You all know I love my molten salt. You get it all over those chicken thighs. And you can already start to see them changing colour. But what they'll do is they'll crisp up beautifully, and they take on this lovely crispy texture. You go a bit brown. We'll get that lid down now. And you can put them into your kebab. Right, so our thing is telling us that internal's now gone up to 75 degrees. So it continues to rise. So what's happening when you rest something is the outside of the meat is a lot hotter than the inside. And as you rest it, that heat transfers in. So some people say it continues cooking. It doesn't. It's just the heat equalising across the piece of meat. So yes, it does cook, but it's not getting heat from anywhere. Sorry, I need to get a bit of smoke. But the whole piece of meat then will become the same temperature. The muscles will relax a bit, and you'll get a nicer piece of meat. So it is worth resting your meat. So yeah, so you'll see that internal temperature, the bit in the middle, because the outside's hot, that heat has carried on going through and it's heated up the middle. Simple as that. So let's unwrap some of this. I'm just going to blow my nose first.
Several requests for deliveries.
Okay, we're a takeaway, I'm afraid. Oh, now there's no chili, as I said on that. I'm going to look, just check. Can you see that, Andy? You should be able to see that. Says 74 point something.
Yeah.
The perfect temperature. Chicken, you need to get to 74. So it's exactly what we've done. Right. So we're going to make one of these bad boys. So let's just see if I can get into this pitta. Cutting away from myself as usual. There you go. Should have brought a plate for this, but
I thought about that. I don't know.
yeah. So we open our pitta up, so that's ready to go. We'll make it on here, Helena. I need my set of tongs. I'll just hold it. It's cooled down. I'm going to take some of the outer bits, and I'm just going to let them fall onto here. Now, what we'll have to do take some of these off. These are going to be the best bits. I'm going to get a set of tongs. I haven't got any lettuce yet, have I? Let's do a bit of that first. It's over here. Oh, I see. Camera girl's in there. We're going to get a little bit of lettuce to go on our pitta. Obviously washed well. We'll get that chopped up. Get that into our pitta pocket. Get some of our white cabbage, which I love, in there. We'll then get a chunk of our chicken. Oop, need a bit more. So it's easier if you take all the spikes out, and I'll take out the thermometer as well now. So that is the meter. You'll have seen me using those on previous cooks. And now I'll just cut down. There we go. Getting that chicken in there. Oh, we're gonna have a good lunch, girls. A few red onions. A little bit of tomato. I'm going to say this one's for me. I'm just going to take the end off one of these chilies.
Not sure we're going to be able to pick that one up.
Nah.
Tzatziki.
We'll get it over. Oh, a bit of tzatziki. Oh. If you need it, I'll put a spoon here for it. And
Oh, no, it's good.
all good kebabs should have some chili sauce. So, take your pick. We've got so sriracha, 3 different styles. I don't know if people are aware there are 4 or 5 different srirachas. This one is extra garlic. This is the super hot. The green one is, I think this is the normal one. Yeah, you can see which one I like. The one that's half empty, so a little bit of extra garlic. Just give it a shake.
So someone has said you don't put the kebab back on the grill once you carve the first lot off.
Oh, you could do, absolutely, yeah. So that could go back on, absolutely. But we're don't on my skins, absolutely, yeah. So I reckon that I'll leave it on there for now. Is a perfect Saturday lunch kebab. What do we think? I think it looks delicious.
Amazing.
But yeah, all sorts of different sauce. Srirachas, I've got the sauce shop, so some chipotle mayo we love. We've got some habanero, that is lethal, but lovely. Started it last night, they're green sriracha from sauce shop, really good. But yeah, you can get all sorts of different ones. I'm going to wrap this back up so it stays a little bit warm. I'm then going to do the chicken skins.
12-16.
Perfect. So, cooking beautifully. We'll flip them over, you can see all the fat coming out of them. And they'll crisp up beautifully, get a little bit more colour. I'll show you the surprise our keyboard warrior hasn't snaffled that kebab. Got my eyes on her, know what she's like. And then we'll get some of those. They'll crisp up and go lovely golden brown. So do that. Let's have another look at this. Whoa. Can you see it's risen even more now? But it's still ultra wobbly. So this one's probably going to take 40 minutes, 50 minutes altogether. So a little bit longer. Sometimes that happens. I think when we do them in the class, we take 45 minutes, and we thought because it would take a bit faster today because we preheated the stone a little bit more, but obviously not. So I'll post some photos of that when it's done, rested, and we cut it up. No doubt Pickle, our nephew, will want to be here to have some of that.
Niece.
But, yeah, niece, nephew. Did I say nephew?
Mm-hmm.
Terrible. Right. So I think we'll leave you. Well, let's just get a shot of that. I didn't get a photo of the Kellybab to put on my website, which is terrible because I now need to cook it again. But yeah, today's kebabs. We're going to make a few more, but you don't want to watch that. So really simple, beautiful. Yeah, right.
What about the chicken skins?
They're going to take a little bit longer.
Okay.
Good job, I've got my apron on.
Good.
Oh, that's really good. Sorry. Oh, well done, Kelly. That's delicious. Right. Any closing questions, comments? So, plate setters, convectors are back in stock. I have some news on that. I'm not sure whether I'm supposed to tell, but I'm going to. If you buy an egg after November the 2nd, the convector will be included. And as far as I know, the price is not going to change on the egg. So basically you're getting a free convector. And going forward, that's the way it's going to be, which is brilliant. Found out only, I think yesterday or this morning, I read the email. So that's great, something I've pushed for a long time. I know the new chairman, the new person running Big Green Egg agreed with me on that. So I kind of like that, I know, but it might be a bit frustrating to anyone who's just bought an egg because it's only going to be for orders after November the 2nd. But anyway, we're moving in the right direction. Everything else is in stock pretty much, bar a few items, the main one being the Egg Genius. Egg Genius will come into stock on November the 2nd, I think it is, so Monday or Tuesday of the week next. So if you've asked me for a quote on one of those, I will send out the quotes as soon as they come back in stock. I can't quote on stuff that isn't in stock. Yeah, any suggestions for next week will be Halloween themed. So there will be some in chocolate because Lexi, my niece, not my nephew, is going to be here, and she's desperate to be involved in the cook again, but she's a chocoholic. So we'll see what else. Send in your ideas. All of these recipes are already online, so you can start making them. I know that one of our followers up in Scotland, Patty, is going to be making the Kellybab tonight with the metal disc on the bottom, and this is interesting, I'll show you this, is using this, the Let's Q, on her, let me take that out the bottom for a second, on the Afia. So basically, move that out of the way, she has the normal stand and puts the Let's Q like that on the top with the skewer, and she is making the Kellybab on her Afia tonight. And even though the wire's here, she puts the motor on and pulls the wire up here somehow to protect it, and they put something, a piece of wood here to stop the heat transmitting, and she's been cooking with that on the Afia. Crazy lady, love it. So yeah, she's doing that this evening. I know she bought the little metal disc, the spit holder, specifically to do that tonight. So hopefully, Patty, I'm really looking forward to hearing how that goes. Yeah. Oh, one last look at the brownie, and then we'll let you go. Oh, it's so close. Can you see that wobble? I just wobble the egg a bit and it wobbles the brownie. So I reckon another 5 and that is done. So thank you for watching. We will see you next Saturday. I'm around all week bar Tuesday. Golf day is Tuesday this week. So yeah, if you need to get hold of me, Tuesday's not the day. But thanks for watching. Thanks Andy, thanks Helena. We're going off to eat kebabs for lunch. All right, cheers. You can just press it, Andy, it doesn't matter. It goes.